Would you like to decode reincarnation? And what is the spirit?
To get to the concept of spirit, these things come from, again, from your ancient scriptures. Like, obviously we were not we didn't discover it, right? Because we don't see spirits. So this is some past belief that has been sent to our mind, that there is something like a spirit or something like that. So let me tell you the evolution of the yugas. So the first yug was the Satyug. In that yug, according to your timeline, in that yug, the good and the evil were to be in two different worlds. You had the Devlok and the Asur Lok. Then you translated, then you moved to your Treta Yug, when the good and the bad came in the same world. You had Ram and you had Ravan in the same world. Then we went to the Dwapar Yug, where the good and the bad was in the same family. You had the Kauravas and the Pandavas. Then we come to the Kali Yuga, where the good and the bad exist within us. It is more of the hell and the heaven, the yin and the yang, that is purely within us. So as we move through the yugas, we need new scriptures that we need to understand. So now the concept of hell, heaven, the spirit coming, going, this has changed in this yuga, where that spirit is ourself. It is the consciousness that lies within us. That is the spirit that is for this yuga. Because for it is not that that the concepts change, but it is more of how people are well in sync with understanding. We have entered an age of science and technology, where we have reached, say, Mars, and we are, the Voyager mission is across the universe. It is captured the Milky Way as well, and never did we find heaven and hell and spirit suffering there or something like that, because that heaven and hell exists in us. The root chakra or the Mooladhara is basically your hell, because that is the fiery hot lava which leads to impatience, which is all about fight or fright and the aggression. And as you move upwards, you have the Sahasrara or the crown chakra, which is about peace, tranquility, and the more of the inner peace. So the spirit or the consciousness lies between these two worlds, and that is the real spirit that we are talking about. Then when we talk about the so-called what happens then after we die, and such questions might be, obviously, what is next. So I have mentioned all this in my book as well. It is basically there's a simple philosophy of it's a theory rather, about which Albert Einstein, when he explains that law of conservation of energy, where energy can neither be created nor destroyed, it only changes forms. So you move from one body to another. That is the most logical explanation that can be given out. At the same time, there's a theory of relativity, wherein at the quanta field, time doesn't exist. Time only exists in this three-dimensional reality. So what is 1 minute for us is something else at that realm. The presence of spirit is basically the presence of consciousness, the presence of your thoughts that you're leaving in this planet, because your mind is nothing but like, treat it as a radio. It can catch on frequencies, it can catch on waves that are moving. Now in this room, there are so many music that is being played, but I cannot hear them. But immediately when I put the radio and I adjust the frequency, I can hear all the music. Similarly, all this information, all the so-called, whatever we have done, we store it in this, call it the Indra's net, as many philosophies have talked about. And it remains on this planet, because our words create vibration which stays here forever. And once we tap into this, and that's what is the purpose of automatic writing as well. You tap into the higher consciousness and you start begin to write what the message has been said.